Hi. I suppose I'm a workaholic. With the film company and all the books and stuff that I've written, but not for the money. For God. I know that sounds whatever, but and not evangelistic. But he's so cool that I want the world to at least know that. Now, what they do with that information is totally up to them. But I think he's gets some bad representation. So the thing that drives me, or that drove me, was to exalt him. Unfortunately, this would exhaust me. It would steal time from my family, and I was starting to lose track of who he was, other than this taskmaster. Now, not long ago, I'm sitting in the back orchard where I hang out with him. I'll show that to you sometime. And just, kind of reading and whatever. And I get this impression, not an audible voice, no burning rose bushes or anything like that, but just this impression. And it was, son, if I were to put you in a coma and you couldn't talk to anybody about me, you couldn't do anything for me, would my presence be enough for you? Just you and me? And I immediately answered and said, hey, what about those Dodgers last night, huh? That was some gan. But he just kept persisting. And this went on for several weeks. Would I be enough for you? And finally, I had to come clean and say, no, I'd die for you, but I don't think you'd be enough for me. And that same resonating impression came back, and that was, well, then that'll be our next season together. And what I've learned during that season, and I'm still in it, is that God doesn't need me. He wants my friendship. He wants my fellowship. The work is an excuse to hang out together. It's a father-son project. Not to be so arrogant as to think that he even needs me. He loves me. He wants to hang out with me as a father and a son. But he doesn't need me. Now, there's this verse that everybody throws around that says, be still and know that I'm God. And I get that. I've heard that verse a bazillion times. So I thought I'd look it up one time. And I looked it up. And do you know what the second half of that verse is? It says, be still and know that I'm God. Here it comes. And I will be exalted among the nations. I'll be exalted in the whole earth. I don't get how that works. That's another one of those God paradoxes. But somehow, if I'm still and simply abiding and getting to know him and love him, he'll be exalted. And if I can hang on to that truth, then the peace and the joy that he promises comes along with it. Or I can get out there and be a servaholic and irritate everybody and work myself to the bone and vaguely know who he is. So that's the season I'm in now. Thanks for listening.